Hello students, today we will study about chapter 7, which is basics of Python programming. Now Python basics. Python is a popular programming language which is released in 1991. It is fastest growing language and it is very friendly for beginners. Beginners who want to start learning programming and they do not have any coding or programming background, then Python is a very easy language to understand. So Python is used for various purposes like web development, software development, mathematics, system scripting. We can develop apps, games by using Python. Now next is input and output, which means when we make a program in any programming language, suppose we make a program to get sum of two numbers. And if we are making a program, such program to calculate the sum, then what will happen? The user will use the program and the program will ask for the two numbers from the user. User will enter, give input of two numbers to the program, and then program will calculate the sum and give output to the user. This is how a program is used. So there are two important things for a program to get executed. One is user will give input to the program, and second, the user will get output from the program. So input to the program and output from the program. So how we give input to the Python program and get output from the Python program is explained in this slide. Now see, var1 equals to computer science, and computer science is written in quotes. Anything written in quotes is a string, and what is string I will explain later. So var1 equals to computer science, which means that var1 will hold the value computer science, var2 will hold the value informatic practices, and print var1 and print var2, which means that it will print var1. var1 is holding the value computer science, so it will print computer science and is written in quotes. Whatever is written in quotes will be printed as it is, right? Now print is basically output function. So and var2 is holding the value informative practices. So computer science and informative practices. So now raw input function in Python allows a user to give input to a program from a keyboard but in the form of string. Now raw input means that input is a function used in Python which is used to get input from the user in terms of string. String means a sentence, a single word, right? Example, age equals to int, raw input, enter your age, right? Percentage equals to float, raw input, enter percentage. I know you won't be able to understand these lines right now, but later you will get to know what I am talking about. It is just if you want to give input to the Python program, we use input function, right? There are two types of input function. One is raw input. In raw input, you always give the input in terms of string, and the other is simple input function, which allows a user to give input to a program from the keyboard but returns the value accordingly. Now, the difference between raw input and input function is raw input only accepts string from the user, and input function can accept anything from the user. It can be string, it can be number, it can be anything else. For now, print function. Print function in Python is used to print output on the screen. For now, you just concentrate on print function. This is the simplest and the first function which we use on Python program. So syntax of print function is print and in brackets. Whenever we use any function, we use brackets or parentheses with it. A function is identified with brackets or parentheses. Anything written before parentheses or brackets is a function. So print, and in parentheses or brackets we have written 122, and the output will be 122, which means it is an instruction or a command given to the program by the user to print the number, right? And second example is print hello India. Now whenever we write any sentence or a word, it is called a string and it is written in inverted quotes, single quotes. So we have written hello India in quotes, the output will be hello India. Third example is print computer comma science. So it will write computer science. Second is print computer comma science comma SEP equals to ampersand, right? Which means कि SEP is separate the string with ampersand. So it will give you computer ampersand science, and next is print computer science separate with ampersand and end with full stop. This is how we use print function. So these are example 3 is showing you 3 different ways to print computer science. One is simple computer science, second is computer science, then SEP separation equals to quotes में it is ampersand. Whatever you will write in quotes, it will separate each and every word of the sentence with this ampersand. Okay, then print computer science separate with ampersand and end with full stop. So it will write computer ampersand science full stop. Python character set, a set of valid characters recognized by Python. Python uses the traditional ASCII character set. The latest version recognizes the Unicode character set. The ASCII character set is a subset of Unicode character set, which means that what characters are accepted by a Python program. Letters, capital A to capital A to capital Z, small a to small z. Digits accepted are 0 to 9. Then special symbols, whatever special symbols are available on the keyboard, all are accepted by the program, Python program. White space, blank space, and tab and carriage. Then return, new line, form feed, other characters are Unicode. So indentation. Indentation refers to the space applied at the beginning of the code line. In other programming languages, the indentation in code is just for readability, whereas the indentation in Python is very important. Python uses indentation to indicate a block of code or used in a block of code, which means that in other languages, if we give indentation or space, indentation is basically space before writing anything, right? So where your paragraph start or your statement or your instruction or your line starts and you give a kind of space to it, then it is called indentation. Now, what happens in other languages, if you give indentation, it does not count anything. It doesn't matter if you give any kind of space before the instruction of line or line of code. But whereas in Python, what happens if you give indentation, it is for a special purpose. For example, in example 1, if 3 is greater than 2, which means if this statement is true, then print 3 is greater than 2. But here it is written syntax error due to not indented, which means this is a kind of error in Python program. Now see example 2, if 3 is greater than 2, print. Now in the second line, a indentation of 4 spaces or a tab is given. Print 3 is greater than 2, indented, so no error. So which means that here the indentation before print is very important. So it is basically a syntax of the program. Syntax means a rule or regulation to write a program. So in Python program, indentation is a very important rule to write a program. Now tokens are smallest individual unit in a program, which means whatever we will use in a program, in a Python program, is said to be a token. Now these are different types of token. One is keyword, identifier, literals, operators, punctuators, and delimiters. Now, very first type is keywords. Now, keywords are also called reserved words of the compiler or interpreter which cannot be used as identifier. Now, I want to tell you what are compilers and interpreters. Now, when we make a program, we need another program which is responsible for execution of the program. So there are two types of programs. One is compiler and the other is interpreter. Now, how do they compile the program? When we write the program in any language, say Python, C, C++, then that code is converted into 0 and 1, which is computer understandable language. And then it is processed, and then again the output is given in the user friendly language or the programming language. So compiler and interpreter is responsible for converting the Python language or any other language into 0 and 1, and again to convert, process it and give result in the user friendly language. So now, whenever we use any programming language, we need any one of the program which is compiler or interpreter. So, reserved words means which are already, the meaning of which words are already known by the compiler or interpreter. I will give you a live example for this. If I say apple, now what happens? You will imagine an apple in your brain, right? Which means you already know what is apple. If I say dragon fruit, some of you may know what is dragon fruit and some of you may not know, right? Now, if I say like any other fruit, tapioca, if I say tapioca, many of you might be not knowing what is tapioca fruit. So what happens? The thing which you know is kind of a keyword for you, which means you already know the meaning of that word. Similar is the here, these words which are in the table and, e, as, break, these are keywords, which means the meaning of these words are already there with the compiler and interpreter. Whenever you will write these words, you do not need to do anything. They will be understood by the compiler or interpreter itself. Now, second type of token is identifiers. A Python identifier is a name used to identify a variable, function, class, module, or other objects. Now, if I say that when we give name to anything, say variable, function, class, module, or other objects, then it is called identifier. Suppose, like, how do we identify each other? With the name. Now, like my name is Shweta. If someone wants to call me, they will call Shweta. So, Shweta is my identifier, which means it is my name with which I will be identified. Now, there are certain rules of identifiers, which means there are certain rules to give name to the other things. Like an identifier starts with a letter A to Z, which is in capital or small, or an underscore followed by a 0 or more letters, underscore and digits 0 to n, which says that identifier can be started with numbers or alphabets or underscore, no other special characters. Python does not allow special characters as identifiers. Identifiers must not be keywords of a Python. Now, if there is a word which is already a keyword cannot be used as identifier, right? Python is a case sensitive programming language. Now underline this thing, keep it in your mind. It is very important for your Viva that Python is a case sensitive programming language. Thus roll number with the capital R and roll number with the small r are two different identifiers in Python. Now, here are some examples, some valid identifiers. My book, which starts with alphabet, file 123, Z, date, underscore 2, underscore NO. Only underscore individual underscore cannot be a identifier. It has to be followed by alphabets or numbers. Some invalid identifiers, s dot table. Now dot is a special character and which is not accepted. S dash table, dash is again a special character which is not accepted by Python as an identifier. Literals in Python can be defined as number, text, or other data that represent value to be stored in variables. Example of string literal is Python. In Python is name equals to joy. Now, joy is a literal and name is a variable. What is variable? We will discuss. Now, joy, if you give any value to anything, then the given value is literals. F name equals to Johnny. Now, Johnny is a literal. Example of integer literal in Python, numeric literal, also called numeric literal, age equals to 22. Now here 22 is a literal. Example of float, float means decimal value, height equals to 6.2. Now 6.2 is what? Literal. Example of special literal in Python, name equals to none. Now none is a literal which is a special type of literal. Now how many types of literal we have studied? String literal, numeric literal, float, again numeric literal. Float means decimal value, and special literal, none. Operators. Operators can be defined as symbols that are used to perform operations on operands. Now what happens when we write any mathematical expression, suppose 2 plus 3 equals to 5. Now in this expression there are two main important things. One is operator and the other thing is operands. Operands to which we operate and operator which we use to operate. Now which means 2 and 3 are operands and plus and equals to are operators. Now these are different types of operators which we use in Python programming. One is arithmetic, second relational, assignment operator, logical operator, bitwise operator, membership operator, and identity operators. Now we will study all these operators in details. Number one, arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic operations like addition, multiplication, division, etc. Now you can see in the table plus operator is used to get sum of two numbers. Now here it is written x equals to a plus b. In simple maths we write a plus b equals to x. Now in programming, why we write x equals to a plus b? Because the values travel from right to left. Now a plus b will hold the value, suppose 2 and 3. 2 plus 3 equals to 5, and then 2 plus 3, 5 will go to the value x, right? The value travels from right to left. Next is minus, again x equals to a plus b. You can say that this is a rule to write an mathematical operation in programming languages. Then slash, which is used for division, asterisk, which is used for multiplication, then percentage sign, which is called modulus, which is used to calculate the remainder. When we divide 3 by 2, then we get 1 as a remainder, right? Or we can say if we divide 5 with 2, then the quotient will be 2. Quotient will be calculated using slash, and if you use percentage sign, then you will get the remainder. That 5 divided by 2 will give you remainder 1. Now double slash is floor division. Floor division means if you divide any number and the quotient is in decimal form, it will discard the decimal value and then give you the quotient. And double asterisk is exponential, or we can say power of. So here are some of the examples of arithmetic operators. For example, x equals to 5 and y equals to 4, which means x will hold the value 5 and y will hold the value 4. Now first is print inverted comma start x plus y equals to inverted comma close comma x plus y. Now you need to see is thoroughly that whatever written in inverted commas, whatever is written between the inverted commas will be printed as it is on the output screen, comma, and which is not written in the inverted commas will hold the values and calculate. Now see the output first, x plus y equals to. Now why x plus y equals to is written like this? Because it was written in inverted commas, comma x plus y. X plus y means x, the value of x is 5 and the value of y is 4. So it is 5 plus 4 is 9. So the output is x plus y equals to 9. Whatever you want to print as it is, you have to write it in inverted commas, and the value, if you want to hold the value, then you don't have to write it in inverted commas. Rest are also the examples of arithmetic operators. Okay, so next type is relational operator or comparison operator. Relational operators are used to compare the values. For example, double equals to, it returns true if a is equals to b. If it is written a double equals to b, which means that the value of a and b are equal. It will check, it will compare, basically it will compare the value of a and b. And exclamation and then equals to means not equals to, then a exclamation equals to b, which means a is not equals to b. Now this says that the value of a is not equals to b. Now greater than, a is greater than b, greater than equals to, which means the value of a will be either greater than or equals to b. Less than, which means a is less than b, the value of a has to be less than b. And less than equals to, which means either the value of a is less than or equals to b. Okay, next are some of the examples of comparison operator. Again, you can check example x equals to 101 and y equals to 121. Now print x greater than y is, comma, x is greater than y. Now it will give you true or false. If it is true, if the value is true, then it will write true, or if the condition is false, then it will write false. So let's check the very first. Print x is greater than y is, comma, x greater than y. Now whatever is written is in inverted commas, it will be printed as it is, and then it will check x is greater than y, which is false. 101 is not greater than 121. So the output you can check is x greater than y is, it was written in inverted commas, so it is printed as it is in the output, and this is false is the answer to x is greater than y. So rest are also the examples of your comparison operator. You can check it thoroughly and then check the output. Okay, next is argumented assignment operator, used to assign value to the variable. Now these are basically called assignment operators, which are used to assign values to the operators. Now first is equals to, which means assignment operator. A equals to b means the value of b will be assigned to a. Plus a means a plus equals to b, which means first of all it will add the value of a and b, then it will save the value in a. Now backslash b equals to, which means first it will divide a and b and then save the value to a. Okay, then again asterisk equals to, asterisk means multiplication. It will multiply a and b and will save the value to the left operand. Left operand is a. Then minus equals to, then modulus, double slash which is floor division, double asterisk which is power of. So these are basically same as arithmetic operators. So fourth type of operators are logical operators. Logical operators are used to perform logical operations on the given two variables or values. Now we have three types of logical operators. One is and, or not. If we say and returns true if both conditions are true, right? Or returns true if either or both conditions are true, and not is the reverse of condition. For example, A equals to 30 and B equals to 20. If A double equals to 30, A double equals to 30 means the value of A, which is 30, and double equals to 30, which means left hand side and right hand side value should be same. And B is double equals to 20, print hello. Now it will check that the value of that the conditions are true or not. The value of A is 30, so 30 equals to 30 and 20 equals to 20, so the condition is true. Both the conditions are true, so it will go. If either of the condition is false, then it will not go inside. So print hello and the output is hello. Now next type is membership operators. The membership operators in Python are used to validate whether a value is found in a sequence such as string, list or tuple. Now what is string, list and tuple we will discuss later in later chapters. Now in and not in. Suppose just check example A in list, which means A is there, A alphabet in the list, or A not in list. That does A exist in the list or not? For example, A equals to 22 and list equals to, this is a sequence of number which is list 22, 99, 27, 31. Now in answer, this is a variable equals to A in list, not in A not in list. So what happens, what do we need to check is print in answer and print not in answer. Now it will check that the value of A is 22. It will check it is in list, so the output is true. And if it is say that A is not in list, but it is in the list, it does exist in the list, so it is false. So seventh type of operator is identity operator. Identity operator in Python compares the memory locations of two objects, is and is not, which is again A is in B or A is not B, which means if you just concentrate on the diagram, memory addresses of variable in Python, str1 equals to India, which means str1 is a memory location which will hold India, means the value of that memory location will be India, and then str2 is again India. Now str2 is double equals to str1 is double equals to str2, which means left hand side value should be equals to right hand side, so it will return true. Now str is str2, which is again, which means left hand side value should be right hand side, which is again true. Okay, so now it is operators precedence. Precedence means highest precedence to lowest precedence table is given on the slide, and precedence is used to decide which operator to be taken first for evaluation when two or more operators come in an expression. It is just like BOD mass. When we solve a mathematical expression with multiple operators, so what we do is we follow BOD mass. BOD mass similar, this is the table from top to bottom is the high to low precedence. Precedence means preference to the operator, which is exponential. Exponential means power of, then it is tilt plus minus, right? Tilt means unary operator, then multiply, divide, modulus, floor division, then it is addition, subtraction, then it is greater than, and these are bitwise operators, then it is bitwise and, then it is or. These are this is the list, you can go through it, and we can learn it and solve the mathematical operation in programming. So this is punctuators and delimiters. Punctuators and delimiters are used to implement grammatical and structure of the syntax. Following are the Python punctuators. Punctuators means whenever we write any English statement, we punctuate them like with comma. Comma is a halt, then full stop, which means the statement ends there. And there are many different punctuators or delimiters in Python programming, which is uh, quotes, single quote, double quote, hash, right? Front slash, circular bracket, or we call it parenthesis, square brackets, curly brackets, at the rate, then again quote end, then colon, full stop. This is again, these are different punctuators and delimiters which we use in Python. Now, this is the main structure of the program, or we can say a Python program contains the following components. A expression which is evaluated and produce results, for example 20 plus 4 in brackets and divided by 4, which is a mathematical expression which can be evaluated and which will produce result. Then statement, instructions that does something. Example, a equals to 20. A equals to 20 is a statement which means that a value of 20 will be assigned to a variable called a. Okay, print calling in proper sequence. Now, this is again another statement which will print whatever it is written in the quotes and parentheses. Now, comment is again very important thing, which is readable for programmer but ignored by Python interpreter, which means comment, when we comment on any statement, it will not be executed. Comment are non-executable statements. It is very important. Single line comment which begins with hash sign. Now you need to remember this whenever you may want to make any comment, then you have to, if it is a single line, then you have to start it with hash, and if it is multiple line, then you have two options. One is either write multiple lines begin with hash sign, or use triple quotes multiple line. Triple quotes multiple line means you can write triple quotes, triple single quotes to make a multiple line comment. You can see that the triple quotes are in red color and it shows you multiple line comment. And why do we comment in programming? We make comments in programming so that, suppose I am making some program and I am working on the program, then due to some reason some other person come and start the same program, then the second person who will be working on the same program should know what I have done, what variables I have taken, why I have done those calculations. So whatever main I will do in the program, I will write it in the comment for the reference, right? Now function a code that has some name and it can be reused. For example, key argument function in the program. Okay, now next is block and indentation. Group of statements is called block. Indentation at same level creates a block. Example, all three statements in single indentation is called block, right? Now, bare bone of a Python program. Now, bare bone means a proper structure. Now, we are starting with hash. Hash is again comment. Whatever written after hash is said to be comment. Function definition is basically a comment. This statement function definition will not be executed, right? Now, def key argfunc, which is key argument function, and we have written two things, emp name and emp role in that. This is a function. This is the way how we declare function in Python. We will be studying it in later classes. Just go through it. What is comment, what is function. Now print emp name emp name, print employee roll number and return. If you can see that print and return, these are in same indentation, so it will make a block of statements. Now a equals to 20, this is an expression, and print calling in proper sequence, function call, these are the different statements. Okay, variable is a name given to a memory location. A variable can consider as a container which holds value. Python is a type infer language. That means you don't need to specify the data type of variable. Python automatically get variable data type depending upon the value assigned to the variable. Okay, now assigning value to variable, name equals to Python. This is string data type. Sum equals to none, a variable without value. A equals to 23, which is integer. B equals to 6.2, float. Now what happens? Variable is basically a memory location. Whenever we declare any variable, a memory is assigned to it. For example, if you are a government employee and you get a job, what happens? You get a government residence, right? So whenever you get a job, then a apartment is given to you. That means a location is given to you to stay. Similarly, when we declare, when we declare any variable, then a memory location is assigned to that variable, and uh, basically variable is a memory location, and variable like a equals to 23, which means there is a memory location with the name. That memory location is identified with the name a, and the value is 23, right? A memory location with the name a, which means you are living in a house, right? So the value is you, location is your house is location, and your address is identifier. Your location is identified with the address. So here we have a location in which we have the value 23, and this value location is identified with a, which means the variable name is a. Okay, so when we consider any memory location for programming variables, what happens? We should know what type of values has to be saved. What type of means whether it is string, it is a character, it is integer, it is a decimal value, it is a number, what type of value will be saved in the memory location. So it is called the data type of the variable. So if name equals to Python is a string data type, sum equals to none is without any value, a equals to 23, which means the value is integer, b equals to 6.2, which means it is a decimal or float value, right? Now variable scope and lifetime in Python program, which means where the variable is declared and where it will be used, where will be the what will be the lifeline, from where till where. If there are two types of scope of a variable, one is local variable and the other is global variable. If we talk about local variable, what happens? If we declare a variable in a scope of a function, then scope means within a function, then it can be used within the function only. It cannot be used outside the function. For example, def function, we have declared a function and then x equals to 8, which is a local variable. Local variable, why? Because it is declared within the function, and then print x, function call, right? And then print x, hash error will be shown. This is a comment which means error will be shown. Why? Because once the function is called, and if after that we are calling, if we are trying to access the local variable or variable x, then it will give error, which means the scope or which the life of the variable x will be within the function. Once the function is called, then it will give error if we will try to access x. Second is global variable, in which global variable means a variable which is declared outside the function. Then what will happen? We can use that global variable within the function also, and we can use it outside the function also. For example, x equals to 8, which is a global variable. Def function, we have declared a function print x, then it will call the value of x and print it. Then function call, it will stop the function here and print x. Then it will again call the value of x and print it outside the function also. It won't give any error. Now dynamic typing. Dynamic typing is a very good, which is, we can say, a benefit, a good thing in Python programming. Now, dynamic typing means data type of a variable depend and change upon the value assigned to a variable on each next statement. First thing, we do not need to declare data type while declaring a variable, right? We don't need to tell what type of data will be entered into the variable. Second, that the data type can be changed automatically. We don't need to use any function, anything at all. It will be done automatically by Python, which is a very good thing, and which is not same in every language, right? Which is a, we can say, a benefit of this programming language. Now, for example, x equals to 25, which is integer type. All everyone knows 25 is a number and it is a integer number. Now x equals to Python. Now previously the value of x was 25, which was integer. Now in the next statement I am writing x equals to Python, which means that the the x variable data type changed to string on just next line. But here there is a note that the programmer should be aware that not to write like this, y equals to x divided by 5, because the previous value was integer, but now the value is replaced with the string, and string cannot be divided, so it will give you an error. So this has to be taken care of by the programmer itself. Okay, next is constant. Now what are constant? Constant is a type of variable whose value cannot be changed. With the name itself we can guess constant means the things which cannot be changed. Now again, the values which cannot be changed are called constant. It is helpful to think of constant as containers that hold information which cannot be changed later. In Python, constants are usually declared as assigned in a module. Here the module is a new file containing variable, function, etc., which is imported to the main file. Inside the module, constants are written in all the capital letters and underscore separating the word. A constant, create a constant dot py, pi equals to 3.16. For now you can only understand that Python are the values which cannot be changed. Like if you want to calculate the area of a circle, which is pi r square, so the value of pi is always 3.14. You cannot change the value of pi. So pi is a kind of constant, which means that the value of pi cannot be changed, right? So there is one thing that we can write pi equals to p or whatever variable you want to declare equals to 3.14, and the other thing is that we can create a library file in which we can define the value of pi. So wherever we will use pi, it will pick the value 3.14 itself. So one thing is that we can create the library file, and the other is simply we can use pi equals to 3.14. So students, this was all about chapter 7. Hope the things are clear to you. If you have any problem, you can contact me. Thank you so much.